And I ask that question because within HR, we have had for years psychometric assessments. Now, I know even today that some people, very senior in HR, take that psychometric assessment and it's no longer a tool. It's actually being used to partition out people that are going to be interviewed or recruited or indeed promoted. So if we recognize AI is a tool, as a psychometric is a tool, then HR is going to be well in advance of other departments because they'll realize that tool can be abused or it can be used really well. And just because the answer that comes out of the machine says this is the way we should go, don't stop thinking because it's your decision at the end of the day. As someone once said, they could never get fired for hiring IBM. Well, guess what? In the world of AI, you can definitely get fired by hiring an AI tool that actually didn't work. So we've got to make sure that we keep thinking. As soon as we stop thinking, we actually start going backwards, and we allow the computer to make decisions actually that we probably would regret. And the additional thing is some of these decisions, of course, don't materialize in reality for months or maybe years ahead. Now, if they build a computer that can do that, I'd like to buy one, but I don't think I'll ever be able to afford it. And that's where we are. So everyone on here, yes, adopt AI, it is there. Don't be frightened of it, engage with it. And as Mansoor said, he's going to give links to do the research. Feel comfortable with it. This is not a technical arena. This is an arena where your process can be enhanced by the adoption of a tool. It's really a simple, to me, it's just like when spreadsheets first came out. Spreadsheets made me able as an accountant to repeat without having to create that spreadsheet all over again. And when Word came out, we could now replicate Word documents. We could have 10,000 copies of the same thing with a different name sent to. Then all of a sudden, all you need is an address list and you only need one copy. So these are the things that people really should be thinking about and adopting and not being frightened of it. And then I find there's so many people frightened of this technical, techie arena called AI that they've forgotten actually the benefit is it's going to take loads of process away from me. It's not going to take my decision making away. It will help my decision making. And I think that's the characteristic that we need to engage with. And as a last thing, I just want to leave you with something that I found a little while ago, which was written by allegedly the third guru, the third founder of AI. And he put an article on BBC. He was asked by the BBC reporter. I'm going to tell you about it, and then you can go and find out about it, because I did put it on my LinkedIn profile a little while ago. So it's a post on LinkedIn. So here you go. Use your investigative skills and go and find it. And all he was saying was his last 30 years in the field. Remember, most people have only heard of AI in the last 10. He said that his last 30 years in the field, he's now having to rethink. Because what's happening now has completely blown his initial thoughts. And I immediately thought back to, I had lunch with Tim Berners-Lee a couple of years ago. And I actually asked him, he was the creator of the internet, www, if you don't know. And I asked him, if you'd have had your time over again, would you have launched the internet? And he looked at me. I mean, it was almost like he was choking on a pea or a piece of steak. And he looked at me and he said, lots of people ask me that question, but I don't believe they want to know the answer. And I said, well, I would. And he said, well, I wouldn't have been in such a rush. And the interesting thing to that is we should adopt the same with AI. Don't be in such a rush. Understand it. Understand the benefits, understand the pitfalls. And under those circumstances, we'll get the best results. Done, Sana. All to you.
Thank you so much, Neville. Sorry, I'm just going to enlarge this if it's possible. Yeah. So sorry, I've just found that this is a lot more helpful when everyone's speaking, just to focus on them. Neville, that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Again, you know, there are just so many things over here to take away for all of us. We're all sailing in the same boat at this juncture. You know, we're all evolving with the times. We're all evolving with this, you know, transition of artificial intelligence. So there were some very thought-provoking questions that you asked and some very enlightening details that you shared. And before I actually, you know, just move on to some concluding words from you and from Mr. Mansoor, and obviously we're so happy to see that Zafar Saab is again back with us. I'd just like to point out a few things. There was a survey that asked some professionals that would they actually consult chatbots for answers, and the result was that 79% said yes. And it just goes to show, you know, how willing people are to, you know, keep up with technology and to interact with chatbots and to interact with the latest artificial intelligence developments. Just a few more points in terms of the relationship between HR and AI is that employees obviously need to be upskilled, and they need to be well versed with design thinking. Obviously, as you know, as time goes by, one needs to become more aware of these tools, as Mr. Mansoor has spoken about, and also Mr. Neville. I'd also just like to share, and I can't remember the name at the moment, but I will email you this because it is something that I found fascinating. So there was this mental health app for workers that I recently stumbled upon online when I was doing my research on AI. And it was such a useful tool that what it did was in organizations, you just had to communicate with an online model, an online app, and it identified your voice for the sort of things that you were not saying. So the way I'm talking right now are the words that you hear. ये mics जो है please mute पे कर दें, किसी का mic on है. Thank you. So what that app does is it actually captures what you cannot say, but what you're trying to say. And it tries to deduce whether you're suffering from something serious like anxiety or even a serious mental disorder. Now, again, you know, Neville's thoughts obviously come over there. We need that human interaction, but then we need to learn to live with AI as well. Just one more thing before I pause. With ChatGPT, which has become so popular everywhere in the world, and it's becoming extremely popular in Pakistan, I'd just like to highlight both points, both the pros and the cons very briefly. The pros, of course, is that you can draft wonderful emails with ChatGPT. You can also draft questionnaire surveys and also JDs. My own perspective as a writer is, and I'm very much concerned about plagiarism. And even when I'm doing my research on Google and when I'm trying to find some information, I would never just copy and paste, you know, from Google the way it is. And this is a piece of advice that I would give everyone as well with regards to ChatGPT. If you want information from there, it appears in a codified fashion from Google. Take it, but don't rely 100% on it. So with that, I will pause speaking, and Zafar Saab, over to you before we just hear some concluding words from Neville and Mr. Mansoor.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sana. First of all, I think Rumesa has been raising hand for a long time. Rumesa, what is it that you want to ask anyone?
Zafar Saab, no, I didn't want to ask. This hand raised was in response to a question by Sir Neville. So I think I have to check if this can be put down.
Okay, that's phenomenal. First of all, I must, look at The number of participants is amazing, and the coverage is really, truly global. There are a number of people from different continents and countries. My humble request to them is, some of them I've requested on chat to introduce. It's good to, because it's one of the benefits of such webinars is to know each other, create a network for future learning. So please feel free to leave your contact, or, I have given on the chat my own WhatsApp number. So it would be a pleasure to hear from you and get connected, and we can find more opportunities for, continuing such learning experience. This is amazing. I missed out a very critical part of Mansoor's presentation. I have downloaded the links he has shared. So hopefully I will. My only point here is, and let me see how much time do we have. Oh, we have about few minutes. So the key issue, and I'm looking at it, my expertise of life has been in people management and leveraging the human resource, one of the critical organization resources to make a difference in organization, to bring in performance excellence, to bring in the productivity, to provide competitive advantage to the organization. And for all this, we realize we can have so far, we can have the best of the state of the art hardware and state of the art software. But in my mind, what really makes the difference, makes one organization superior, and provides it a competitive advantage to survive, grow, and we're going to the future, is the leveraging of human resource. And it's the most complex resource of an organization. It's a creation of the marvel of creation, the God. And it's an amazing, I mean, every individual is a different individual. We are not standard, we are not robots. We have our own response, reaction to a situation, and a given situation is different. We can generalize some, like Neville says, in a certain organization, if employees are disengaged and there is a reason, there is a tool to assess the reason of disengagement and enhance that contribution from them, it makes an amazing difference. But in reality, everybody brings a different kind of a behavior and attitude that Neville is talking about. We can talk about people from the children from the same family, brought up by the same parents under the similar environment, are not the same. They're all individually different. Class of, let's say, 2023, graduating from a university, same curriculum, same professors, same textbook or learning or lectures. Every individual is different. 5 years from now, you look at them and they will be doing different things, contributing differently in life. So that is the human differentiation that I'm not sure AI will be able to master. Although, what is AI, to my humble learning, is basically a data analysis. And we are all, in our normal intelligence, what we call is a data analysis, right? There is an input of some information in whatever form it comes by. Mr. Solomon, your mic is on. Okay, so whatever information we gather through our five senses, or reading, or watching, learning, comes to our mind. It is processed here. This is where, and then the reaction and output is in form of our behavior. So we produce, we create value in a situation according to our own individual capability. And this is something that is mind-boggling again. Why is it that students of the same art class, only 1 in a million will become Picasso or Michelangelo or something? So these are the things that need, I don't think human mind is ready to understand and get on top of that. But we have in hand a situation which is AI, and which is taking over most of the routine processing done by human mind. It's a routine processing that is done by human mind. And that is, to my mind, quite doable. in the sense that, there are database. Neville again talked about the big data. And, big data is what? It is information, is data. And big data gives you an advantage of taking a much broader base of information and come to an intelligent conclusion. It is not totally conclusive, but it is an intelligent, the best conclusion. So analysis out of 10 in data will be 1, and out of 100 data, it will be more accurate. If you go to 1,000 data base, it will be more accurate. So you may precisely AI will help us come to those conclusions in a better way. Chat GPT I have seen is being experienced, and it's amazing how Chat GPT tries to simplify things for us. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel at times. So those are the advantages that Chat GPT brings. You can get a structured presentation, then apply your human mind and make a difference. But really, from a human resource management perspective, the leadership perspective, it's a moment for us to reflect and think. Serious issues are anticipated. I see a lot of jobs becoming redundant. I have seen in my life happening because of technology, but that has impact. I mean, it has always been since industrial revolution. The mechanical advantage was in human inability to contribute in the classical way has been noticed. But with computers, with technology, things happened. I know Habib Bank, I was leading the human resource there when we adopted software and a centralized transaction management. A lot of people in our branches became redundant who used to write information, transactions on the book. So those kind of transformations, we have seen thousands of people going out. But now this is something that whatever the human value creation, I think that is the key. Human value creation, and we need to quantify it right now and see how much of it is potential of being taken over by AI. So that is something that will help us gauge the way forward. And it's not easy, it's not complex. And I'm going to, I think, open the panel for this because some global experts sitting here. They take their wisdom also. So that is something that we need to understand, because we have to be ready for 2025 and 30, where a lot of these things, artificial intelligence will take over. Then will that be a time when people become redundant? And my answer is always in all these phases, no. We come up in a value addition from in a different perspective altogether. Human creativity, innovation, and end of the day, the human touch, the human connection, that is the most powerful thing. Even today, when I'm doing some the call center talk, sometimes it is so frustrating. You want to talk to a human being, and you go on giving an option this and option that, and go to there and go there. It's very frustrating. So that human touch is always very important. So I think that is where I would like to leave it, and I will open the discussion if anybody would like to add to the discussion and make some comments. It's your pleasure. It will be a pleasure. Please just raise your hand and open your mic and camera and whatever, and join us.
Okay, so very quickly, I will take on the last sentence Zafar Sahab just said. This frustration in human talking to the machine nowadays is becoming very, very difficult. Actually, now companies are advertising that you can call and you can speak to a human. So we've gone a circle on this one. Okay, just like anything else, the technology came. We started using it as an advantage to a point where it became disadvantageous. And now we're thinking, you know what, we were doing it better because human need human touch. And finally, the most important thing, like I said in my talk, hardware and software, best machines make no difference as long as you don't have the right people there. That's the term I use, which has been used by one of the IT experts. Peopleware is the layer that makes the hardware and software a successful system. Now, I think Khalis Sahab, you have a question. I'll let you go ahead and ask it.
Just before Khalis Sahab question, I want to just request each one of you, if it is possible, if you can open your cameras. I want to take a snapshot for my LinkedIn post. So just anybody who wants to be visible with your picture or your face, just open your cameras just for a minute so that I can take a ready. Yes, anybody? Very good, very good. Tom, very good. Solomon, very nice. Dr. Seerat, I can see you now, mashallah. Good to see you in person. And anybody else wants to open your camera? I'm just going to take a picture. Ready? Okay, try and smile also. 1, 2, and 3. And it's on 2 screens, so just wait a minute. Yeah. Everybody, please just wait. Open your cameras, please, if you can. 1, 2, and try and smile. Thank you so much. Now, please, Mansoor, carry on with the question.
Yeah, I think Khalid Khan had a question, so I requested him to pose his question.
Yes, Mike, thank you so much for doing this, Zafar Saab. My question to you is, I'm in UAE, and what I see here is, for the last, AI is not even here yet, but yet the roles of HR, particularly from talent acquisition perspective and from talent management perspective, they're shrinking. They don't. I don't think so. Okay, AI will replace people, but they will definitely. If previously the matrix was 25 people to one HR person, now with the help of AI, it is going way up. Now I've seen companies here, there are 400 people and they have 2 people in HR. They don't need people for writing their job descriptions. They don't need people for conducting assessment centers. They don't even need HR professionals to do the talent reviews. I mean, talent reviews was one of the forte I've in my last 6 years. I think that only thing which used to stand me out from the crowd was this talent reviews and these assessment centers. And now Zobbins and Gorilla, they are doing it for us. So my question to you is, even though we will not be replaced, yes, agree, but what about the clan of 80% or 70%, which is my assumption, and I'm very ignorant because I don't know much. Like, what about that 70% of that clan? Where will they go? What will they be doing? Will they go back to administration roles? So that's my question.
Khalid, thank you for your very nice question. First of all, let me tell you that please dispel this thought that AI is not here. AI is here, really living with you day in and day out. You go any shopping online, you go and search a ticket, and they analyze you, your requirement. They start recommending you. All these things is being done by machine. They start suggesting you things. You book a hotel, and they come up with 10 other proposals. So a lot of things that human individual travel agent used to do is already being done by AI. So, I'm not in the interest of time, I'm not going into the detail, but it is very much in our lives. Every time you pick up your iPhone or your phone, it is 70, 80% AI operated, right? Now, your question, just to be very specific to your question, what will be remember my key words I use for human utilization is value creation. How do you add value to the organization? Right now, I think we have learned only transactional value creation. We do certain things which can be which is a very you can say there is an SOP, there is a process defined things we do, and all those process defined things can be done by the AI. So we're talking now of human mental intelligence, and the key word is that human connection. I'm very pleased to hear Mansoor is saying that humanity has gone a whole cycle, and there are companies which are now offering, please talk to a human being. We will not bring machine here. So, those are the things. So there will be areas where there will be need for human interaction, a greater human interaction, greater two things, greater customer service quality, customer service excellence. AI cannot provide service excellence, and human does that human touch. There was a research done. I was doing a leadership program in Sri Lanka, I think 1 year back or something. These were the branch managers. And I did some research. Where is the most new business coming from? The new customers are coming now, mostly, first of all, they did the survey and they analyzed. We spent so many millions on advertising, many millions on branding, and etc., etc. And the research proved that only 20% of the new business is coming through advertising, branding, and the social media. 40% additional was coming through human interaction. So Khalid, you are a human being. You go to a bank, you don't realize, but you make an individual contact. So when you go to the bank again, because of the good quality connection, human connection, you look for the same person. So it's a personal contact that becomes the core of business growth. That becomes the core source of that. So I think that will come. Problem solution is resolving the issues of customers and all. So that is a big area. And then creativity, innovation, product innovation, etc. So I don't know. I don't know but if we will be there, but we will be not doing what we have been doing in the past. Awais Saab, you have a question?
Sir, I just want to share my experience. A few days back, was working on the bench strength and mapping the positions with the external incumbents. I was working very hard on the LinkedIn and searching and using the filter, but for a while I thought that Bing is also connected with the internet. So I have picked up 2-3 positions and given the name of the current incumbent and asked the AI that please give me the name of the profiles matching this profile. First, the AI has given the profile of that incumbent, and then he has searched similar profiles in my company. Then I have asked him search the similar profile externally and not for the wireless company, but for the company which has the landline business like our organization has. Believe me, he has given a very crisp 5 to 10 profile in a seconds, which I was taking time for searching on filters on LinkedIn and searching for going to other companies, asking to people, and within 5 to 10 minutes, I have completed my job. So I came to remind the words of Sir Mansoor. He said, a person who is using the AI will replace your job. So it's now we have to use it in day-to-day business because these things are going to be change everything.
Amazing, amazing, really mind-boggling. And I think thank you for sharing this. Really, Wes, these are the things that really open our minds. I mean, I'm sure not everybody would have experienced the same thing. Everybody sitting here today would have experienced the same thing. But we learn from you the potential of opportunities that we have. And what it does is, the key thing in your experience was that it saved you a lot of time that it would have taken.
Yeah, true.
It frees up a lot of your time. And what do we do with that time? That is going to be the question. And I think that is where my point of creating additional value, different solutions, finding out opportunities, those are the things they're going to do. So I'm really thankful to you for sharing this. It's great. I mean, they can find, so they have the ability to go to the database and find you from similar industry, from other places. Where does the headhunter business go now? Great. Thank you so much.
Okay, on that thought, I just want to add something more. I don't know, Sana, how much time you have. It's the headhunter business is definitely not going to be where it was. Companies now in the West are not looking for people who are looking for jobs. They are looking for people who are not looking for jobs. They're actually going through, sniffing through LinkedIn, and seeing who are the people that will do the job they're doing, and they probably are very happily employed in their existing company, but they are now approaching them because they're saying, hey, these would be a nice people to have in our company. So the coin has been turned a little bit. It's more for I'm talking about high-end jobs. My son works for the largest health network here, and he's recruiting vice presidents and above. And they're not looking for people who are applying for the job. They're going out and searching different organizations where similar people are working with the profile that they're looking for, and they're approaching those people and trying to give them an offer. So it's this whole world of HR is different. Finally, I want to say that remember, the AI can provide you the data. The AI can help you with the analysis. AI does not have the brain that you have. Unless you superimpose your brain power to the AI response, you are not going to get the results that you should be getting. So remember, a response from ChatGPT or any other AI-based tool is as good as a response from Google. You need to put your own words in it, your own mind, your own thoughts, your own thinking, your own analytical ability to make that a powerful response. Okay.
I'm amazed, this particular webinar we are coming to the, coming to the close of the time, but we have 47 people actively participating. So I am quite comfortable in, extending this discussion if it helps others. And I will again open everyone on the panel here or sitting and discuss on the screen to feel free, come and share your learning and observations on AI. What are your personal experiences learning on AI? Anybody would like to add something?
Yes, I would like to add one thing where AI greatly helped me. I used to conduct psychometric tests for Gets Pharma and Jazz, and I always find them that they were missing one very important element. I'm talking about MBTI and Big Five Factor psychological framework. So I always wanted that maybe there are two important aspects of life which should be incorporated in personality test, and one was spiritual, and the other one was your intellectual level. So with the help of AI, because normally if I would have done that research, it would have taken me around, I don't know, maybe 2 years. But with the help of AI, I just, I came up with this four aspects of life: spiritual realm, emotional realm, intellectual realm, and mental realm. And then I created it from cause and effect perspective. So for example, if somebody is God conscious, then his morality will be higher. If he is into learning, then his intellectual capability or his creativity will be higher.
Very
Similarly, if his emotional intelligence is higher, then so from that four perspective.
Let me thank you so much. Let me ask Dr. Seerat Fatma. Doctor, what is your take on role of AI in future of human resource management?
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me to talk about that. Honestly, I've been trying OpenAI from last 2-3 months. You might have seen my different posts on it as well. So right now I can do a PhD on what is the difference between Bard, Google Bard, and then maybe Bench, and then maybe ChatGPT. So I try to research on the different various tools and techniques. This is very interesting phenomena, but what I have seen that human intelligence cannot be replaced with these artificial intelligences. This is what my conclusion is from since long I'm working on it. And from last 2 months, I'm working on the OpenAI systems. Regarding various different impacts of AI on HR, I can see so many organizations working on AI tools from last so many years. Probably we can talk about Textio, Myla, and there are many other tools as well. So I can see that if they are working on it and they have been through those for different functions of HRs, for example, for talent acquisition. Amazon is using, Airbnb is using. There are so many other organizations those are using. So it means might not be that much a horrible thing as probably being portrayed right after Elon Musk started saying that we should be very much careful about that. It is as horrible as social media was once it was introduced, probably. And if we don't find that horrible, then we should not take AI as horrible as well. For me, it is very important who is using AI. Fine. So it is exactly like many times it comes into my mind that there's something which Mansoor Saab was also talking about, that it is kind of a genie saying that what is your request, what is your command, my master. Exactly in that way. If we are not capable enough to take work from the genie, then it is of no use. It will be only holding itself back and just waiting and watching that what's going on around. So for me, it is very important to learn. And exactly I was listening to a few speakers. They are saying that it was very important, like a tool. And if we are not using it, definitely we are going to be obsolete very soon in whatever role we are performing, not only HR, in marketing, even in customer services, everywhere. However, it is not going to impact you like in the way we are thinking. Probably it is going to impact us if we are not taking advantage of that. Then of course we will lack a competitive advantage. That's what I believe.
So thank you so much. You made very valid points. My own feeling is here, just to address one very important aspect. It's up to us to take advantage. My own feeling is that it is not up to us to choose to use AI or not. AI has already imposed itself on us, and it is imposing it with the pace that we don't even know. I gave simple examples of the smartphone that we are using, and influencing our decision making, influencing our choices. So it's already there, and it's unbelievable. Uh, we don't realize. I mean, if you start thinking, if you start looking at things, how much AI is impacting us today. But my concern is, what will be the future of this growing influence of AI on on the human resource and our people and our, what kind of universities. You are a professor in university, you are teaching students, imparting some knowledge from the textbook, from the research and all. Now my question is, how much of that will actually be of long-term value to the organizations? And, we in organizations, as Mansoor mentioned, we don't advertise. I mean, good organizations don't advertise. You don't want to have a CV. Anybody who has to write a CV for a job, in my mind, then I mean, he is not what I want. I have to have the best talent available in the market for doing a certain thing. If my need is to add certain value in a certain area of my company, I would like to go and find out who is the best in the market. So I have to go and search for him, and then I have to go in contact and get him. And that is what Mansoor, I did in Habib Bank when we were transforming, when we were changing from public sector to private sector. We needed world-class resources, and I did not advertise. I knew that if somebody in Citibank is doing this, he's the best resource. Somebody has done the launching of a new product, credit card in some company, and is away. So I need to go and find them, search them, find them myself, not through a headhunter, because when headhunters have a database that they work on, we don't need a database. If you are looking for a successful organization performance in something, then you would like to go and personally find out, search in the market for the best talent and get them. And you have to. Sometime I hired people, sitting in Pakistan from India. I went to Bahrain, to the Middle East, and found who are the best, and we engage them. You pay them, that's it. But then the payback is much better. So artificial intelligence is going to be here. Anybody else would like to add some value? We've got some. Oh my God, this is, I think, we are over 50 people right now.
I have a suggestion I want to make to all the attendees here. Just like we keep ourselves, to keep ourselves physically fit, we need to do exercises in the morning, play golf or whatever, some activity. I recommend highly that everybody who is in the current workforce should allocate 30 to 40 minutes of personal learning time on AI. Resources are umpteen, as I told you. Just go to Google. There are ebooks. You just sort of type, impact of AI on HR, and you could be specific on your specific job. You will find so many resources. Allocate 30 minutes of your time daily to learn. We are in a very constant learning environment. We cannot operate with the mindset we have for long, especially the young people. New things are coming. You need to be abreast. You need to learn. The only way you can learn is educate yourself. Like I said, prompt engineering, it's a new word that just come out. How many of the young people that I see around here are really looking at how to equip themselves to become good prompt engineers? Search for that. Look for the links I've sent you on, Humane Society, because that's also a very conflicting thought that is going on in our mind about, okay, so what is the AI going to do? It's going to be so pervasive. It's going to take over, a lot of decision making. Learn about it. Nobody has the right answer. There is no one course that you can take and say, okay, I'm a master of AI. So that's my suggestion. Like you do, look after your health. Look after your, similarly, look after your knowledge health and improve it on a daily basis, bit by bit. That's the only way to continue surviving in this world today.
Thank you. Thank you, Mansoor. I think, again, I would like to benefit from some of our participants in different parts. Mr. Michael Nover, would you like to share your thought? Michael Nover. All right, we move to the next person. Rita Minta. Would you like to share your thoughts on this? All right. Mr. Shakil Ahmed, would you like to say something? I'll very quickly keep asking anybody. Iqra Liaqat, you're there. Would you like to add something on your take of artificial intelligence? Iqra Liaqat.
While we're trying to get people to come and ask a question, maybe, I just want to raise the issue today that this is all about raising awareness. This whole session has been interesting. I've learned quite a bit. Thank you very much. And this is about raising your individual awareness. And as Mansoor said, dedicate a few minutes a day. If you spend 20 minutes on AI a day, it's less than you'll spend in the bathroom. And the bathroom is a complete waste of time apart from first thing in the morning. It's getting rid of things. So
views on that.
So you can add something productive. But I just want to leave you, again, this is about fact finding, about wading through all the fake news, because believe you me, there's a lot of fake news out there, particularly on AI. And there's a very good TED talk that's literally just going around. I helped put it together, so I know it's a very good one. There you go. And it's all about what AI can do and what it can't do. And what AI can do is it can solve the most complex problems known to mankind. So it can beat the world chess champion. It can also pass a law exam. But what it can't handle is common sense. And let me give you a simple example. This is a real example that's been tested on many, many different AI platforms. you have two jugs. One holds 12 litres and the other holds 6 litres. Your challenge is to create 6 litres of water, just to have 6 litres of water. Now, common sense would say, what? Zafar, I've got a 12 litre jug and a 6 litre jug, and I need to get 6 litres of water. What would you do?
Put it in the 6 liter and throw it out.
There you go. That's common sense. This is what every single AI platform, very expensive computers with the biggest organizations in the world, this is the result. Fill the 6 litre jug. Empty the 6 litre jug into the 12 litre jug. Fill the 6 litre jug. Empty the 6 litre jug into the 12 litre jug. Empty 6 litres of the 12 litre into the 6 litre jug.
True. True.
Now, common sense, it hasn't got. And there are many examples like this. And this is where it will never replace human beings. But here's the rub. How many times, Zafar, have I said I get paid a lot of money to show people common sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just invoking their own mind. If people start open their mind and start thinking, that is the key differential. Thank you so much. It's a very valid point. End of the day, we just have to, we've become so used and addicted to borrowed wisdom and, the wisdom from others that we don't normally open our own mind or use our mind, because we are like, we become crippled with this borrowed knowledge and wisdom. We don't think. Abir, you have a question? Abir Ahmed?
Hello. Thanks so much for organizing this. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I actually put my question in the chat as well. And I was thinking to myself as I see all of these videos on Instagram and all these places on Twitter on how you can use AI to improve your resume and to improve your writing and all of that. And I thought to myself, how can we as, HR operators, it's similar to how in universities now they have to figure out plagiarism and things like that. How will we know that the resume in front of us is actually the real person or edited using some kind of AI tool? How do we manage that risk?
Abir, can you briefly introduce yourself? And I'll tell you, I've got a decent answer for this.
Sure. I work with the Ahan Development Network and I work in global HR. I work as a global HR projects business partner. So this is one of the things that I'm interested
You are
to pass on.
Canadian based in Pakistan, Abir?
Yes.
Okay, great. I have an old association. I have been in Habib Bank and I have been Acadian HR head for Asia and Central Asia. So I've worked very closely with the Aga Khan HR team at time. So
very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for setting this up.
My pleasure. Your question is very interesting, and that is where I think the human differentiation comes in. The ability, again, remember, the AI ability is to pick up the data, analyze, and give it to you. And that is what we normally do as a human being, when you have a CV or honestly, it's a very futile exercise to sit with a CV and ask somebody, run through the things that the person has written about himself and try and find out, whether that is true or wrong. So that interviewing and selection method, to me, is redundant. But this is something very interesting. There is a sense that we have, which you cannot define, when you meet someone and you talk to someone. The moment, I have done thousands of interviews in my life, recruitment and all. The moment the person walks into the room and comes and sits in front of you, lot of image building has already been done through the body language, confidence. Those are the things not collected by the AI data, and the way the person sits and talks, and the communication thing that comes through, and then the kind of interaction that takes place. So my decision, by and large, in the first 3 to 5 minutes is done. I know whether this is a product worth looking or what not looking. And the next 15, 20 minutes is a courtesy discussion just to reinforce what I have thought. And by and large, most of the time, that opinion is made. But this is where I'm trying to highlight the human mind's ability to very quickly do some kind of analysis in there, which we have, which you don't have a scientific reason to explain. I mean, again, give you a very simple, in your school and your college, there are some people who just come close to you, there is a smaller group in the class. That's your 3, 4 people who cluster together. Ever try to analyze why out of the 30 people in the class, these 3 people have come close? And there is something beyond the observable behavior, beyond the coded facts that we have, all those things. There's something beyond that. That is a super intelligence, or the psychic part of it. Some say it's a magnetic field that brings you closer to a person. You get attracted to a person. You feel closer. You're more comfortable with that person, and that is amazing. That is fascinating. So on the selection side, I don't think AI will ever be able to. This is very interesting point. I'm glad you brought it, and I'm trying to now connect and see. There's a thing that we do is called competency-based interview, behavior-based interview, right? I mean, I've been trained on that and
Right.
a lot of training programs. Some of you must have heard it. So we don't talk about the CV. We put the CV on a side, and we start asking about the past life experiences. One of the high points of their life, something, the best thing that comes, we think that they've done something extra, great. And you talk about it. It's more of a psychoanalysis. You talk about the experience, what went well, what did you do, who supported you, who did not, what were the things coming against you, how did you manage those resistance? And while you're having this discussion, you're finding out the traits that you are trying to look for you. And similarly, so this is a very interesting. Sometimes, we will do a webinar on this thing. So selection.
Right.
Neville must be
So thank you for addressing that. I think my concern was more about in high volume environments where we have a bunch of resumes and we really lean on spelling errors or things like that to kind of weed out the poorer candidates and the poorer experiences. But now if AI is writing, I mean, you can now go in and write in, I want a job as an HR manager, write me a resume, and ChatGPT will spit a resume out for you. How do I tell whether or not the resume that's in front of me at the screening stage is the authentic person or just completely fake? Because this will waste a lot of the organization's time where we maybe on paper they look really impressive, but we get to the interview
Right.
stage, to your point, and it's a complete farce.
Very true. In my experience, I have, first of all, this sorting is done in live, right from the time you start in the school and college. We do the human gradings, right? So we see, okay, you are first, you are second, you are third, you've got X percentile and above. That grading is going on throughout our life, right? That grading is going on throughout our life. And what you are interviewing now is a university graduate with a GPA. So a lot of that grading has been done. And again, it's a wrong measure. I don't agree with it. And I have personally experienced that IBA, we used to go and interview 3+, GPA 3+. And my question was that what about 2.8 and 2.9? We don't, because because of the volume, we have to draw a line and cut off. Okay, so we cannot interview everybody. So we say, okay, who are we going to interview? We say, okay, GPA. Wrong criteria. I have seen with my own eyes, there were some brilliant 2.8 GPAs who we should have hired, but we could not because of the hiring criteria. So that is something, part of it, we have to learn to live with it because of our human limitation of looking into every sample. But there is definitely a lot of waste of high quality people who are just not excelling in academics, but they are brilliant. They would have added so much value. I remember one person from IBA, he was 2.8 and he came to me. He was not even called for interview. He came to me. I want to talk to you. I said, please. And he said, what is the problem? Why is it a 2.8 cannot do? And he he had read so much about treasury products and, the finance and everything. I thought he was brilliant. But, my problem was if I select one 2.8, what do I do to all other 2.8? So that is to sum up, a human limitation that we have to learn to live with. And our current grading system, which brands, our current performance management system is pathetic. What we do in the bell curve, we force people, we force rank them. We tell them you are A performer, you are B performer. This is all crap. Because every individual is different. 1 year could be different, second year could be different. We use them like we take them like robots. Like these are the robotic, all the robot, and we say, okay, so they are not robots, they are human beings. And once you brand them, I call it human branding, this is my own term. Human branding, you brand me as a category C performer. I actually go into Neville's model and I disengage, and my behavior then goes down. I start acting and behaving like a grade C a human being. I look into a mirror and I see a grade C person there. And that emotional disaster that it causes me is something. So I am not now supporting, I must confess, I imposed this bell curve in many companies and forced through their throat that this is the best system, having learned it in my own American Express and Exxon days. And then I realized that, no, now I realize, that's criminal. That is inhuman. That is, crime against humanity, to say the least. But this is the system we have to brand our performance. And people, there is a lot of loss, and that behavioral loss, exactly what Neville has worked on. Organizations don't realize how much loss we are having a human being and not producing to 100% of the potential, 30%, 20%. In a state bank, I was questioned this, that a lot of people are non-performers and they want, and when I researched, I found out that they are disengaged. Why they are disengaged? Because they have been graded into an area that they say, they come at 9, they will do barely as much as will guarantee their employment, and then they will leave. So what is it that we are achieving from them? 30% of their productivity. Organization is paying 100% of the cost. We are paying 30% of the product, getting 30% of the yield. Is that are we operating in the best system? No. So, I mean, it's a little slightly digressing from the AI impact on HR, but I think that human impact, a key lesson is that human impact, our own ability, our own human judgment, end of the day, has to be superior than artificial intelligence. And you ask me a logical explanation, I don't have any logical explanation. I think the human mind is limited to understand the mysteries of creation, and there are a lot of questions remain unanswered. The best thing is to surrender to the supreme wisdom of the Creator. Sorry, I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for my this crazy outburst on.
Zafar, you're absolutely right. And the interesting thing is, what you are demonstrating is we've been sold by our own habit. So if a 3 gets through and a 2.8 doesn't, how do we test that that's still correct next year or the year after or in 6 months' time? And the way you test that is look at the 2.8. Go and interview the 2.8 and just see that your criteria is still valid.
Yeah, but the database becomes too big, Neville. How do I
Well,
mean?
I understand that, but you've got to take exception testing. And I appreciate that we're getting thousands of people putting themselves forward for less than 10 jobs. So I do recognize it's a problem, but HR will proliferate the problem if they don't challenge themselves. So you need to test.
Can I intervene here? Can I intervene here? Staying put to the AI impact. I want to say I think we are having an excellent discussion, and then we are bringing our extremely useful experience into this. I want everybody to reflect on the word AI itself. Okay, the first word the first word is artificial, and think about it. The intelligence that we are talking about is artificial. It is not real. Okay, so now what all the speakers have been talking about is, as long as you merge, you synchronize the HI, the human intelligence, with AI, you're okay. If you're going to give yourself to artificial intelligence, then you're not okay. So the point is, remember, it is saying from the very beginning, if somebody complains, oh, why did I do that? Because AI told us that. Well, the first word in AI is artificial. So something artificial, you trust it so much, and something natural that you have, your human brain, you're not putting that to work. That's a question that you really need to think about very seriously. So it's the merger of AI and HI, which is the human intelligence, that can produce something more valuable. Okay?
Thank you, Mansoor. Thank you so much. Actually, I must say, I'm very excited today because we've had about 50, 60 excited, active participants who've been waiting for half an hour over the time, but obviously I think we should start respecting time. There are people who have commitments, and thank everyone for joining. It has been an extremely exciting 1.5 hour of learning, and I just wish that there was more contribution from the participants. But yes, there was still some very useful points have been raised. I think, this is an inconclusive discussion because we are all learning, and we want to learn more about it as we go on. So please stay in touch with Sana Pirzada and our website. I am on LinkedIn. Just search me. It's Zafar, Aziz, Osmani, 3 names. If you could search me on the LinkedIn, get connected. We will keep on holding these learning sessions in future. I'm encouraged by the number of global participants here. I really wanted to learn from everyone, their own country's experience and markets experience. So we will be having more sessions in the future, and I would request each one of you, if you want to leave a contact or something, to be contacted, because we would like to invite you. And please, do come with your own experience and educate us. And once again, thank you all so much. I mean, it's 40 minutes over. 1 hour webinar has gone 1 hour 38 minutes, and we still have 48 people sitting and listening and joining. I'm amazed at your stamina. I don't know whatever time frames you are. I'm here in America. It's my breakfast must be waiting now. Please, I think, it's not that, but I think we must bring it to a closure. Thank you, everyone. I'm just going very quickly to the chat thing, and I'm grateful for the people who are appreciating, giving their valuable comments and appreciation. I'm seriously, thankful to you and grateful for your presence here. And I look forward to see you again and again in our. They don't cost us. They just give us demand some time from us. And I think, as Mansoor has very rightly said, if we want to read ourselves. But my only problem with reading is that when you're reading something, you're reading somebody else's wisdom. I also encourage you to think your own organization and see where are the opportunities for human excellence and how do we achieve that. Thank you so much. Shall I say goodbye, or Sana, will you sort of, I mean, it's very heavy heart that I want to, I have to say goodbye, but Sana, it's over to you.
Sir, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much, Mr. Mansoor. Thank you so much, Mr. Neville. And a big thank you to all the participants who, shared your valuable insights. I know that we've gone over the time, so I'm going to wrap it up now. I'll only say that I kicked off this session with a quote from Frankenstein, which sort of brought to light the dark side of AI, but I will end it with a positive quotation by the poet William Blake, and I'll say, without contraries, there is no progress. For those of you who know William Blake, you'd know that he's talking about opposing forces in life and that you need these opposing forces in order to move forward. So with that, I will leave you and thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you for our next webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. The session has been partly recorded, so if you want the copy of the recording, you can surely contact Sana. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Have a great day or evening or whatever. God bless you. Allah Hafiz.
So long, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.